serial killers used to live, like Richard Ramirez, Night Stalker, like used to live there. He would just like take all his blood-soaked clothes off in an alley and then just walk up to his room on the 14th floor. Like, I don't think I could stay there.
You don't think you'd fit in?
I wouldn't be able to stay in a, like, I guess the 14th floor is closed, probably because a terrifying serial killer who was disgusting used to live there. And I mean, I get that they'd change the beds out, but like, I don't think I could be in that same room.
You wouldn't want to?
No.
Why?
I'm trying to think of all the stuff that, yeah, so they said on the internet when I looked it up, I was doing a little bit of my own research on the hotel. So it's just 16 people died, and they interview the manager in that show, and she's just straight up like, I've seen at least 80 people die in this hotel.
Yeah, people used to like jump out the windows and kill themselves.
Yeah, one woman jumped out of a window to kill herself, and she landed on another guy, and they both just died instantly. And I think there was another serial killer that used to live there too. But it's basically like people who can't pass a background check or anything like that and get a regular house. They just live in this hotel. Like, it's just creepy. But it turns out what happened to her is she stopped taking her medications.
Yep.
She had like bipolar 1.
Yep.
So when she wouldn't take her meds, she would think like people were following her and stuff like that like her sister said, like, she's done this before. It's just she didn't have any friends or family around to help her. So what most likely happened is she like thought somebody was following her and then went to go hide inside of the water tower, and then like the water was too low so she couldn't get out.
So from my understanding of that, the problem is that it was really hard to get that open.
No, it wasn't.
And then it was like locked from the outside or something. No,
see, so people were complaining that the water was brown, tasted gross. Tasted weird. Everyone knows that.
Correct.
Yeah. So no, back then there were, I guess I don't know if there's like a law now, but people will lock those up. But back then there wasn't any law or anything that said you needed to lock up your water tower. So it's just a little metal thing that she just pulled off of it. And then one of the maintenance guys went up there and noticed that was not on the top of the water, because he went to go see what was wrong with it. And when he went over, he saw that she was in there. And then one of the like police, the commissioner, whatever.
Commissioner Gordon from Batman?
Yeah, that he came out and he misspoke, and he said when they found it and it was closed, but that wasn't true. He just made that mistake. And then all these people on the internet who are like web detectives or web sleuths, yeah,
internet sleuths,
they like just wouldn't accept that for a while, because they're not real detectives. And then they also like ruined
How dare you?
They also ruined this other guy's life too. He went by the name of Morbid. It was his stage name. He was just like a death metal, black metal musician from Mexico. So that type of music's very like violent and about murder. And like he stayed at that hotel a year prior to her death. Like, this is all documented, but people thought that he killed her because some of the lyrics in his songs were like, were seemingly about him killing her. Like, there was one about him mentioning someone from China and like drowning in water. Okay. So people made that connection, but it's the internet. Like, it wasn't, it's just him, like, that's just his art, you know?
Well, it's kind of like how if you play a song backwards, you can if you're looking for something, you can find it. Sort of like
I guess.
What was the Beatles one where Paul is dead? Where if you play the song backwards,
right?
Paul is dead.
And then it was something where he's barefoot.
Yeah, he's barefoot in Abbey Road.
That has to do with anything?
Yeah, because he's the only one without shoes. Because the Beatles were all about being normal and not being weird. and doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, but anyway, like, people refuse to believe that this guy did not murder her. There's no evidence that he did or anything, and it just destroyed him, like, to the point where he like tried to kill himself and he went crazy.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah,
I feel bad about that.
yeah, that's the internet.
Yeah. So speaking of the internet, this is James and Jordan Talk to the Internet episode. What episode is it, Jordan?
4?
This is 5.
5.
You probably don't remember much of 4.
No, I do. I just don't remember how many times we've done this.
I don't know how we do it, like every 2 months. We're gonna do at least 2 today. I've decided.
Okay.
Who knows where this one will start? Knowing me, probably right as we started.
Well, what do you want to talk about? Because I'm still stuck on this.
Do you want to talk about Justice League coming out tomorrow? Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut. It's finally happened. You look less than enthused.
I just don't know anything about it, or Justice League in general.
So
I know that it has the Flash, Wonder Woman, Superman, the robot guy,
Cyborg.
yeah, and Batman.
Okay, is that all you know about it? In general, or just this movie?
I don't. How many are there?
How many what?
How many of these movies exist?
So this is the DC Extended Universe, I think. DCEU. I don't know.
When
what
did
the
this start, though?
Man of Steel. It's the start of this. So you got Man of Steel. You got Batman versus Superman. You got Wonder Woman 1. You got Justice League. Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, they're connecting all this?
Yeah. So it's sort of like the Marvel Universe, which
Oh
you
my
haven't
God.
seen a lot of, except for it's bad.
I've only seen the one where Superman was in a cocoon, or he was in water. He was in something. Yeah, they brought him back to life, and he
That was
was
Justice League.
really, yeah, and he was evil.
Mm-hmm. That's Justice League.
And then that's all I remember from that.
It's not a very good movie. So what happened was, let me take you on a spin down memory lane. I think it came out in 2017? 2017. It was Zack Snyder's universe. He made Man of Steel. People kind of like it sometimes. I think it's bad. Batman versus Superman. Most people think it's bad because it is. And then he started making Justice League. And then Warner Brothers was like, hey, can you make a good movie that people will like? And he went, well, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And they went, yeah, but we don't really like what you're doing. So maybe do what we say. So there's a sort of a conflict there. And he filmed like most of the movie. Right? And then I think his daughter died. Maybe she killed herself? I don't remember. It was a family tragedy, very sad. So he's sort of like, I don't really want to work on this anymore. I'm going to step away. Very understandable. Hope he's doing okay with that. They called Joss Whedon, who made The Avengers and The Avengers Age of Ultron and did some other stuff, and is maybe sexually harassing people or something. I don't really know what's going on with him. But then you're looking at your phone like you're not listening to me.
I'm listening to you. I'm also looking up Zack Snyder.
Oh, okay. He made Watchmen.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Okay, well.
I like some of his movies, actually.
And then
It says he has 8 kids.
Joss Whedon came in and reshot a bunch of stuff. And then they sort of mashed it all together. So it's made by like 3 people and a committee. And they cut a bunch of people out of the movie, basically. They just completely changed the movie entirely, right? So then that movie comes out. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes long. It's a bad movie. Nobody likes it.
This is the 2017 one.
Yep. So then there's sort of this rumor going around that Zack Snyder filmed all of this other movie. And it's sort of, it exists. It's tangible. It's on the reel, or the hard drive or whatever they're doing these days, right? So they start saying, let Zack Snyder cut together his movie. Release the Snyder Cut.
Okay.
This is this massive online thing, right? Every single time that a Warner Brother executive tweets anything, anybody related to DC or Warner Brothers, if they tweet anything, it is immediately responded with dozens of people tweeting hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Literally everything, right? This goes on for years. Suddenly, pandemic. Can't really make movies, right?
Sure.
HBO Max, new subscription service, kind of needs new movies, right? So they go to Zack Snyder and they say, hey, we'll give you like $70 million. It was also like a $300 million movie because they had to reshoot it. They had to shoot it basically twice, right? So they've already sunk so much money into this. They give him more money and they say, hey, do what you want to do. Make your movie. Have all the money to finish all the visual effects because you can do that at home. You know, we'll shoot a couple of scenes here and there. There's like 4 minutes of new footage that hadn't been shot up to this point, I think. It's over 4 hours long. It's rated R. They finished the movie. They made Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it's coming out tomorrow. How do you feel about it? We'll finally get to see his vision.
And where do you have to see this? On HBO?
HBO Max.
Do you have HBO Max?
I do. That's how we watch Wonder Woman.
Okay, so are we going to watch this movie?
I don't know. You have work tomorrow, don't you?
I do.
Okay, then.
And then I'm off Saturday.
Awesome. And I close Saturday. So I'm going to watch it tomorrow. I don't know when we're going to watch it.
So if it's bad, you're going to sit through a 4-hour-long movie?
Yeah. I sat through a 3-hour-long cut of Batman vs. Superman, so I don't imagine that this can be much worse. Apparently it's good.
This movie?
Yeah, people have been saying that if you like Zack Snyder, this movie's good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Dawn of the Dead's not a bad movie, the remake.
How do you feel about Watchmen?
I liked Watchmen.
Yeah? How do you think it compares to the comic that you haven't finished yet?
Or the show? I would prefer that over the Snyder movie, but I like that movie.
What about the...
You just have to accept that it's going to be like ridiculous and there's going to be a lot of slow motion flying through the air, stuff like that.
I think that might not be the biggest problem with that movie. The biggest problem people have.
What, the ending?
The ending's bad, but yeah, I
mean, I would prefer the squids.
So in the comic, which you haven't finished, how far into it are you?
I have no idea.
You basically gave up, right?
It's sitting there. It's on the shelf.
Would you say you got halfway through? Would you say you got a quarter of the way through? How far would you say you are?
Like 3 pages.
Okay, so you haven't read it yet at all. So throughout the book, there's, it's a very violent world.
Right.
Rorschach kills a bunch of people. The comedian kills a bunch of people. Dr. Manhattan kills a bunch of people. Everybody killing everybody.
Everybody's just murdering everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. In the book, there's almost no blood. Right? People are getting into fights. It's pretty tame, all things considered. You don't really see anything. And then in the movie, you see people getting like exploded into clouds of blood, and there's the bar fight where people are getting splashed with blood, and the alleyway fight where they're breaking people in half, all that stuff. Rorschach cuts a dude's head in with a meat cleaver. It's pretty violent, pretty bloody, right? The end of the comic is like 5 splash pages, so it's both pages of the comic of just the squid, the aftermath of the squid, and it's like people broken in half and bloody, and there's blood everywhere, and it's horrible and horrific and colorful and amazing. And it's like the entire book is leading up to these 5 pages of the most insane, gory violence you can think of, right? And in the movie, it's almost the exact opposite, where the whole movie is bloody and pulpy and, gross, and then the explosion is just an explosion and some buildings fall over.
Well, they could always just remake the movie at a different time.
The whole point
That's
of
more
the
true
comic,
to the
though,
comic.
the whole point of the comic is to make a thing that can't be turned into anything else. You know what I mean? Like, if you only look at comics as something that can become a movie, then all they'll ever be is a movie that doesn't move.
Yeah, I mean...
But if you go... Like, Watchmen was specifically designed to be unadaptable.
Yeah, I mean, there's I can't think of his name, but there's a director. He did what's it called, Pandorum? Not a movie people liked, but it's not bad. But he actually draws out the what the hell? How do you call that?
Storyboards.
The storyboards. But he basically turns the script, like what he wants it to look like, into a comic book. And then they place all the cameras based on it. Like, he's actually, like, good at drawing.
James Cameron did that.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, basically a graphic novel is just a storyboard for a movie. Mm-hmm. But he kind of sticks to it. I mean, in the beginning, at least.
No, I don't think that... Let me just say, I don't hate Watchmen. I think it's fine. I think it's got some really good moments. I think Rorschach is really good in it. I really like... I don't know the actor's name, but I really like Rorschach.
Yeah, he's a cool character.
Dr. Manhattan's pretty cool. I think that the ending could definitely have been better. I don't like... Because you're already doing the most ridiculous shit imaginable, right? My phone keeps going off. I'm going to put my phone on silent. You're already doing the most ridiculous shit imaginable. Why not go that extra 10 feet, you know? Like, you already have a giant blue naked man floating over Vietnam, exploding people. Why is it so insane to have a big squid?
I saw an interview with him, but this was years ago, so I don't remember exactly what he said. But it was basically, he was like, yeah, you read the whole thing and you get to the end, there's just a squid, and it's confusing. So he changed it, but I don't think it's that confusing.
No, because
I think it's pretty cool.
The reason for the squid, it's not an alien. It's not even... like, he takes... So the bad guy, Ozymandias, whatever,
Yeah.
the Egyptian dude, the suit that they did in the movie is also dumb, and I don't like it. Because in the comics, he's like an Egyptian. He's got the gold and the purple cape and stuff. It's pretty sweet. I mean, it's stupid, but it's, it's a guy dressing up like a comic book hero.
I mean, he's like the best character in there.
And then you have him in the movie, and he's just like the Batman and Robin nipples on the bat suit, fake muscles.
I don't think he had nipples.
He did.
On it.
He did.
Let me see.
He definitely did. But in the comic, he takes all of these like great artists and he puts them on an island. Like writers, painters, sketchers, like literally everybody.
He's got nipples.
Yeah. And he puts them on this island for like a year or two. And he just has them come up with the most fucked up shit that they can possibly think of. And then once they do that, he kills them all, and then he genetically builds this monster that he then teleports into the middle of New York or wherever. And then it's also telepathic, right? It's like a telepathic time bomb, which they explain more in the show.
Right.
Which, to be clear, the show is a sequel to the comic, not a sequel to the movie. The movie is not...
Yeah, I don't think anybody...
in any way...
I don't think anyone
affiliated.
thinks that.
I'm just, I'm just saying. And then, what were you talking about? Oh, Zack Snyder, Justice League. I don't hate it. I think it's okay. I think that Watchmen's fine. I don't know if I've seen another Zack Snyder movie other than the DC ones.
300.
Haven't seen it.
Dawn of the Dead.
Haven't seen it.
Sucker Punch.
Haven't seen it. I've heard it's really bad.
The thing with that movie is, I mean, it's probably not good, but the soundtrack's really good.
Apparently, it's very visually interesting.
Yeah. I saw it in Germany, and it was in German, so I didn't really understand what they were saying, but it was in this like IMAX theater that had like the sound, like the music there. Like here, the movie theaters, like, I don't know if it was just there, that movie theater, I don't know if they're all like this in Germany, but like the sound was loud. Like nobody would be able to talk through the movie. It was like near concert level, like loud. So like if you wanted to, like, you know, when you're in a movie and somebody will be like, "Oh my God, what's going on?"
Yeah,
like,
the old people down in the front.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do this without shouting. So it was cool.
I went to go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in the theaters. I think I saw it 2 or 3 times. And one of the times I went, I was with my friend, and we were in the back, and we witnessed the guy arguing with the theater manager over why this movie was in 3D, but he didn't have 3D glasses. The movie was not in 3D. But because that movie's so poppy and like stuff is out of focus and stuff sometimes, he thought that it was in 3D. And he was standing there arguing with the manager. It was really funny. It was also like halfway through the movie.
I would have just gotten 3D glasses. Like, here you go.
Just give him a pair of sunglasses.
It's gonna look a lot shittier.
You're gonna have a headache for about half an hour. Are they still making 3D movies? Like, is that still a gimmick? Because mid-2000s...
I don't think it was a gimmick. Nowadays, when they do it, I don't think it's so much a gimmick where it's just cool.
You think that they've got it down?
Well, I saw Avatar in 3D. Mm-hmm. And whatever you want to say about that movie, I don't really care. It is, like, visually...
Oh, it's visually amazing.
Right. So, when I saw that in 3D, they didn't... they just make it look like the plants were popping out and stuff like that. But not, they didn't do any of this stuff where, like, something flies at you or any of that shit. Yeah, you're basically, they didn't do, like, that's what I would consider to be, like, a gimmick.
Yeah.
Whereas this just kind of, like, enhanced it and made you feel more like you were in this really cool looking world.
I guess not so much, like, in the movie itself as a gimmick, but more so in the marketing and stuff like that. Like, Avatar was very much... I would say 3D was used as a gimmick for that movie to get people to see it. Like, see Avatar in 3D.
That's how because then you're going to buy another ticket to go see it.
That's how Dread was marketed. It was, I think a lot of the posters say Dread 3D.
Yeah, but that movie's also, a lot of the scenes in that were designed for that. Avatar wasn't made to be in 3D. That movie probably was.
Well, Dread was filmed with the 2 cameras on the rig, so they didn't have to do a post conversion. I don't know about Avatar because most of the movie was in a computer. But none of that movie, because we recently watched it, none of that movie is really, I don't know. It's not the ping pong ball on the string.
No, it's just like the slow-mo scenes.
Yeah.
With the water drops. Those would be like coming like more out of the screen.
Which would be fine. It doesn't take away from the movie or add to the movie. It's very much like Avatar, I would say.
Right, but you know how those scenes are kind of like drawn out?
Because they're in slow motion.
Right. But like that, they did that so it would look cool in 3D.
I think they did that because it looks cool no matter what.
Right, but I saw that in theaters in 3D. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was obvious they were... I like it. It looks fine as is, but I mean, they clearly like shot those for 3D. What?
You're not going along with the narrative I've constructed here, and it displeases me.
Oh. Okay.
I don't give a shit. I'm just I don't really see movies nowadays. Like, you never go to a theater and it's like, ooh, this movie is in 3D. You know what I mean? Not that we're going to theaters right now anyway. But I feel like over the past couple of years, like, what was the last movie? I think I saw Hugo in 3D. That was one of the very few 3D movie theater experiences I've had.
Hugo?
Yeah. Hugo.
With Asa Butterfield?
Is that his name?
He's in...
The little boy in the train station.
Yeah. I saw that. I didn't know they did that in 3D.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
It's pretty good.
Oh, and it has Sacha Baron Cohen in it.
Apparently, it's way worse than the book, but I'm never going to read the book, so I don't really care.
Yeah, whatever. I quite enjoyed that movie.
I went to go see that because when we were kids, me and my brother and I should say, we, like, our family never went to the movies, because why would you? It fucking sucks if you're a parent and you have to bring your kids to the movies. Even when you're not, like, to go and see a movie with your friends is fine, but it's like, if I want to go see a movie that I really like, most of the time I'll just do it at my house, because then I don't have people talking and I can, watch the movie the way I want to watch it. And most movies my dad doesn't want to go see, because he doesn't really like stuff that's coming out now most of the time, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really like the Marvel movies. He doesn't like most movies that come out today. There are exceptions. He likes Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, because that's a good movie.
But we wanted to go see a movie, and there wasn't really anything playing when that came out. I think it was like 2009, 2008, somewhere in there. And that one looked different, so we went and saw it, and it was I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. I've seen it multiple times since.
I want to know what happened to the just before I say this, I don't know if you wanted to go back to the Justice League thing.
I don't care. I don't think most.
I don't know where we're going with this, but
narratives.
No. Yeah, we should probably get some more structure.
We should write notes down.
Yeah, we should probably have like stuff to talk about. Anyway, yeah. So the drunk guy. Well, Hugo's dad died, right?
Yeah, and then the drunk dude was his uncle, but his uncle's dead.
Yeah, but they still think the drunk guy
is doing all the work because Hugo's.
So where is his body?
They find it on the river, and then they're like, "But he's been."
Oh yeah,
doing all the clock stuff.
Right.
So what the fuck is going on?
Why was he in the river?
Because he was drunk. I don't know. I don't think they explain it. They're just like, yeah, we found this fucking drunk asshole in the river.
You think Hugo murdered him?
I don't think Hugo murdered him. Because you can't live alone. He couldn't live alone in the train station because he was like 10. So he had to get sent to an orphanage.
Hugo.
But then I think the old movie guy adopted him or something.
Like at the end of it.
Yeah. And then the dude with the sweet mustache and the dog.
That's the face of a killer right there.
Yeah, that guy. He was in Ender's Game.
Ender's Game and Sex Ed, I think.
I haven't seen Ender's Game.
He's not a little boy anymore, so he's doing some other.
He's doing real.
He's like 24. I don't know.
He's doing big boy movies.
He's not doing kids movies anymore. He's 23.
Do you think he would be on this podcast?
No, I don't think. Yeah, Sex Education. Oh, Mrs. Peregrine's, that Tim Burton movie.
Haven't seen it.
And he's in Space Between Us.
I thought you were gonna say Space Chimps.
The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. That's a sad movie.
Yeah, don't want to watch that.
This looks cheesy. Space Between Us. What the? Oh, we should probably watch this.
No. We're going to watch...
the cover has a picture of...
First.
It's called The Space Between Us, and it's a cover of... he's in a space suit. There's a woman, and they're very crudely animated into a...
That is the greatest Photoshop. Oh my god,
yeah.
Look at his arms. They don't look real.
Well,
his head looks way too small.
How they're standing in that... And they're not standing in that. You know what I mean, like that's,
yeah, it's a very bad.
I'm not even very good at. Yeah, I mean, blur tool? What is that?
That's where you...
I know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, is that what they did?
Probably. That's how I would do it if I had 5 minutes. And somebody gave me $20.
Yeah. So let's talk about Spider-Man in the new Venom movie.
You want to talk about Spider-Man in the new Venom movie? How you got duped?
I really didn't.
I feel like you did.
Because they said he actually filmed a cameo.
Yeah, but you said that he was going to be in the new movie and that they released a trailer, and they definitely didn't do either of those things.
That one was fake. And I don't know why I fell for it, because then I remember, like, oh, like the scene where he's like a detective was just from the first or the second one. The one where he gets locked in that facility.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah. They used clips from that, and I don't know how that like went over my head. I think what happened is they used more than just those 2 movies, and they threw some other clips from some other random movies in there, which I hadn't seen. And then they definitely showed Carnage at the end of it.
Because he's in
like a teaser
at the end of the first one, right?
Which I had not seen. So
it's Woody Harrelson in the worst wig
and then
ever.
Is it bad? I don't know.
It's bad.
And then the other artwork where it was Spider-Man with his mask off, which doesn't make sense. And then it's
Tom Hardy on a motorcycle.
Yeah, with Venom,
where the shadows are completely wrong.
No, well,
and
here's
it looks fake as shit.
No, here's the thing. I didn't think that was like a movie still, obviously. I thought it was concept art for something that was going to be in the movie.
Okay.
At first glance. Like something to get people excited about it, because it's sort of like tinted.
I'm going to let it slide.
Why? What's your problem?
Because you aren't as up to date as most people who are into these movies are.
No, I don't know anything about this.
And you probably don't spend like hours of your life looking
Disney
at movie
doesn't
posters.
Want Sony or some crap to
Well, they don't want to take their good Spider-Man and put it in the bad Venom movies. Which I don't care what you say about Venom, it's not a good movie.
Yeah, it's more of a comedy.
It's not. I don't think it's supposed to be, though.
Well, they clearly wanted it to be in this.
But when I think of Venom, I don't think of comedy. Like, I understand.
No, it's a new take on it.
And sure. Well, I don't know if it's new. Venom's a fucking joke in the late 90s.
Or in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. But I think when Venom was introduced, he was, and this is what I was saying the other day, Venom was supposed to be like the worst of the worst characters, right? Like he's the most evil, gross, disgusting thing in Spider-Man's world, right? The problem with that is you can only do that for so long before you have to up the ante, but they can't really do that when he's already at the top, so they had to bring him down and then introduce like Carnage and the other symbiotes, which if you I don't like Venom really as a character. I think is my biggest problem.
Why? I always thought he was cool.
I just don't really think he's good.
What if they put him in one of the new Spider-Man movies, but completely different, like as he was supposed to be?
Especially
scary.
When you're just doing Venom by himself, it's hard because Venom's origin is directly linked to Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like the Venom, the symbiote came to Earth on a space shuttle or whatever the fuck, and then it bonded with Spider-Man, Peter Parker, gave him the black suit. All of his powers were increased. He could do stuff that he could never do before. The problem was that it was mentally turning him into a douchebag, Spider-Man 3. And then he gets rid of it, and the symbiote bonds with Eddie Brock, because Eddie Brock is pissed at Peter Parker, because Peter Parker's, cooler than him or whatever. And then they bond.
Yeah, I've seen Spider-Man 3.
Well, yeah, but Spider-Man 3 is a bad movie.
It's a fantastic movie. Probably one of the better ones.
And then there's this whole thing where Spider-Man can't see Venom with his spider sense. Like, he doesn't know if Venom's attacking him until he's already attacking him, because the symbiote was on Peter Parker for so long, and he felt like it was a good thing for so long, that his spider sense no longer thinks that it's a threat. And that's a whole dynamic that you don't really get in Spider-Man 3. I don't remember that happening at all. And then I'm moving my hands a lot, talking like a politician. And then they sort of were enemies for whatever length of time. That was a good snap. And then Carnage showed up.
Carnage in the house.
And Venom was mad about that for some reason. I don't read Spider-Man comics, especially not 25-year-old Spider-Man comics. So then Venom and Spider-Man sort of teamed up. I'm basing this all on the 90s cartoon that I watched 15 years ago and haven't rewatched since because it's bad. And then they team up to fight Carnage. So then there's sort of, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of thing, you know? And then at some point, Venom turned into a fucking idiot. And is sort of working for the government.
Okay.
I just feel like I just don't like him.
Well, in the Tom Hardy movie, he's kind of a likable character.
I just don't feel like I like him. I've seen clips. Like, it's not like I'm just blindly saying that I don't like it. I've seen clips. I've seen people that I agree with on like 99.9% of things saying that it's a bad movie. So I feel like it's a bad movie. I don't want to watch it.
It has like a 6.7 on IMDb.
I don't want to watch a 6.7.
I wouldn't say it's like the greatest movie ever made, but it's watchable. It's not like...
I'm sure it's
not like you can
watchable.
watch it and just be like, ew, this is bad. I mean, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, but you also really like Wonder Woman.
I do, but for different reasons.
I feel like they're the same reason.
Wonder Woman? No.
That music thing that they released was pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
I like that.
No, I liked 1984 because you can watch it and just be confused the entire time. And it's funny to me.
My favorite part about that was you kept asking me questions, because normally, like, when we watch Captain America or whatever, you ask me a question and I have an answer for you, because I've seen most of those movies and I know, I wouldn't say I know a lot about it, but I know more than you, probably. Would you say that's accurate?
About what?
Like Marvel movies and comic books and stuff like that. The universes, yeah. Right? You asked me a question like during Captain America. I say, well, that's because this character did this, or he's from this and this and this. And you go, oh, okay, that makes sense. With Wonder Woman, you would ask me a question and I would look at you and go, I don't know, it's not in the movie.
Yeah, that's why it's good. I rewatched it.
Yeah. Did you buy the deluxe steelbook edition?
No, I didn't buy that. I just rented it.
I kind of want to buy it.
It's I mean, there's just so much in it that's just
so
weird and doesn't make sense.
Dumb.
But it's funny though. Like, just right off the bat, you're like, okay,
what's going on?
Yeah, and then it just gets weirder and weirder.
I think that, so they obviously weren't trying to make a serious movie.
No, I don't think so.
I do not think they were trying to make the movie they made.
I think it was supposed to be released on Christmas, right?
No, it was pushed back like 6 months, I think.
Did they reshoot anything to make it like Christmas friendly? Because the last scene,
maybe the end was a tack on at the end. I have no idea. Because
in the it just seems like they were trying to make it like a Christmas friendly, family fun superhero movie. I think Wonder Woman has always been kind of cheesy, and they were trying to go back to that. So like the Schumacher type Batman garbage. I don't think they were trying to do that. I think that what they were trying to do is more of the Christopher Reeve Superman the movie. Which, if you watch it, it's goofy and it's silly, and he, goes back in time around the world or whatever. But it's lighthearted and it's fun, and it's kind of cool. This was not that. This was
I think they were trying to do that, but they totally missed the mark.
Well, it's all over the place, but the theme of it's like everybody wants, like,
The theme
more
doesn't
and
make
more.
any fucking sense.
Well, if it's a Christmas movie, everybody wants more and more, and then they realize, like, oh, I just want to, I don't need all this.
I don't
just
need
wanna
that
be
Lego Death Star.
Yeah, I just want to be friends with everyone.
It doesn't make any sense.
And then at the end of it, he's like, oh, I just need to pay attention to my son, who, like, runs out into the woods at one point.
And then immediately gets taken to jail.
Well, yeah, he's going to jail for sure.
Guantanamo. It doesn't fucking make any sense. The entire movie, like the entire end of the movie, is hinging on the fact that Wonder Woman is speaking to everybody and saying, listen, I gave up what I loved. You can do it too. Life is, okay with what we have. You don't need to take all these shortcuts to get, special stuff. One, assuming she's talking to everybody, is something to do with TVs, right? It's intercepting TV signals.
Yeah, in Star Wars or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they lead the secret.
They immediately go into the White House, and all of that stuff is just out.
It's just there.
The president just wanted to look at it. One, this is the 80s, so there's like, what, 4 or 5 billion people on the planet at that point? Whatever. Like, a significant portion of those people don't have water. You think they have TVs? No. So she's not talking to everybody, right?
I think it was kind of just shooting through all radios and everything anywhere.
They don't have water.
They didn't make any wishes to begin with anyway, then.
You telling me that
This would have only been the people hooked up to the TV.
the odds of somebody going out, looking at the sky and being like, fuck, I wish it would rain. Like, the odds of that happening during this whatever month period or whenever this is going on, this week, telling me that nobody's going to do that and then not get the message that they need to take that back? What if somebody asked for world peace?
Well, there'd be a lot of,
What if somebody's out in the middle of nowhere and, they're watching their TV and they got whatever they wanted, but, like, nothing changed, nothing's bad for them. They're not seeing any of the consequences for their actions. So Wonder Woman's like, hey, you need to renounce your wish. And they're like, fuck no.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly, like, the terrorist guy in there probably wouldn't renounce his wish.
Right?
But I think what happened is if everybody gets a wish, they're going to start, like, canceling out each other.
Like, hey, I wish I had a cow. And then you're like, I wish that fucker didn't have a cow. It's pissing me off.
Right, then you wouldn't have a cow anymore.
But would I get what I lost back? Or is that just gone? Would you get what you lost? What would you lose?
What if you just wish that the wishing stone never existed?
I don't know.
Would that solve the
I
whole
don't know.
movie?
Does him taking back his wish renounce everything? Does she just have to get him to take back his wish? What is the point of the beginning where she's a little girl?
They did that so they could get the other actresses in to do their... Because they had a contract.
It does not have anything to do with the rest of the movie. The message at the beginning is stupid and takes like 20 minutes.
She tried to take a shortcut.
Well, it's like, you can't take shortcuts in life. You can absolutely take shortcuts in life. 100%.
No, you can't.
If there's a shortcut to get to your destination faster, you should take it.
I don't think it was, like, literally, like, a shortcut so much as, like, you can't just, like, expect stuff to be given to you.
But she thought on her feet. She encountered a roadblock. Her horse ran off. We're talking about the beginning of the movie now. Her horse ran off. She used her brain, and she used her surroundings, and she came up with a solution to the problem.
Yeah, but she cheated.
But she didn't cheat.
She did.
Why?
Because she didn't run the track they were supposed to run.
Do you have to run the track? They never specified that.
I'm pretty sure you had to. She said you cheated.
Just have to hit the things.
At the very end of it.
You just have to hit the things.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a whole, like, route they have to take. It would be like if you were doing cross country running.
Then why does that
and you
route
just
have
ran through the woods?
a fucking branch in the middle of it that knocks you off your horse? That's
you
like
never
saying
done cross country running.
That's like saying
running through the woods. Sometimes there's branches in the way.
You have to start. Well, apparently this is a big event because they've got the fucking Ninja Warrior course going on here. They built this whole stadium for it, so clearly it's a thing that happens. That's like going to the Olympics and they're like, "Oops, didn't sweep the ground. Tripped." No. This is a thing that is big. I don't think
so. Clearly has rules.
I do not think she cheated. I do not think she should have been punished for that.
I think she cheated, and basically what it amounts to would be like
the
somebody.
message should be don't cheat, not don't take shortcuts.
Well, no, then it wouldn't fit in with the rest of the movie.
It doesn't fit in anyway.
Because they were all wishing for something rather than trying to. I mean, it doesn't, but I'm trying to make sense of it. I think that's what they were going for, at least.
I'm sure it is,
but I'm saying that would be like would be like her okay, so the Olympics, big old track, everyone's gonna run around it. One guy, he's running, he's a little behind. He just cuts across the grass.
Okay,
and he's in first place. He win the race.
He didn't take a shortcut though. Because he cheated.
Yeah, which is what she did.
She
clearly had a
if she took
path
a
they
gun
had to take,
and she shot the other opponents, and then ran the course perfectly, did she take a shortcut? No. Did she win fairly? No. The message of that thing should not be don't take shortcuts. It should be don't fucking cheat. If that's the problem.
But she cheated. I don't know how you're not
So
getting this. They
don't-
clearly had like a road.
The point.
Her mom or whoever that woman was grabs her,
Robin Wright,
and she's like, "You cheated. You
But
can't
the
take
whole
shortcuts in life."
That's not the same thing. Cheating is not taking a shortcut. When you're doing math out and you have to do your equation, right? If you have this long ass I watched a video about fucking calculating pi, right? They used to take hexagons and put them in this middle of the circle and a fucking square and put it on the outside of the circle, and then they would calculate the difference and they would say pi has to be between these numbers, and they did that for a dude spent like 25 years calculating out to like 4.6 trillion places of pi. And then Isaac Newton came in and said, here's a formula that just does it for you. That's not cheating. That's taking a shortcut.
We're not even talking about the same thing anymore.
I'm talking about fucking math, motherfucker. That movie's bad.
It is. But I don't see how you can't understand that they clearly had rules for this game.
Okay. So she cheated.
Right.
The message of the movie isn't don't cheat.
She took a shortcut, which was cheating.
A shortcut isn't cheating, though.
In this race,
one
it
specific context, it's cheating.
That's right.
But saying don't take shortcuts through life is not the message you glean from that. Because a shortcut isn't a cheat unless it goes against the rules.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So shortcuts aren't cheating necessarily. So you can't just put this blanket statement of don't take shortcuts.
So I don't know how this. I mean, it doesn't. It's such a weird movie to talk about because it doesn't make any sense.
It's like trying to explain.
But I'm trying to think. So
dolphin language to somebody.
When a cheetah woman,
her name's just Cheetah.
When Cheetah wants to be more like Diana.
You don't even know their name.
That's how. Yeah, that's what her name's Wonder Woman.
Diana Prince.
They gave her a last name.
That's her secret identity is Diana Prince.
All right. What's her real name?
Wonder Woman.
That's what they call her on the woman's island?
No, her name is Diana.
So they have regular names there.
Well, I mean, they have like Greek-ish names.
Diana. Yeah, anyway, so when she wishes she could be more like Diana,
I don't think she has.
and then she wakes up and she's more like Diana,
And she can walk in heels.
instead of she didn't want to work on her confidence
It's
on
just,
her own.
It's so weird. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't make sense.
The whole message of the movie doesn't make sense. The plot of the movie doesn't make sense. The scenes don't make sense scene to scene. The effects look bad. Nothing about that movie is good other than its accidental comedic value.
I liked the effects.
You like the part where she's on a green screen and that missile shoots up into the air?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
She swoops in and picks up those kids, and then they all just freeze and
they're like clearly puppets. Yeah, and she rolls over them.
And then she lands on them.
Yeah, but I like...
And it doesn't even matter because the trucks just go around them anyway.
Right, but she's also running...
on a treadmill.
Yeah, and it doesn't match up with what's around her. I thought that was really funny.
Once again, the accidental comedic value.
I think they were trying to be funny.
I don't think they were trying to do that, though.
I think they accomplished what they were going for.
Do you think somebody was working on that scene and it looked too good and their boss came in and said, No. You take those filters off. You make that look worse.
Probably.
They got halfway through filming and they went, this is not going to be a good movie. We got to go hard the other direction.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's it's one of the weirder movies I've ever seen.
All right, so that topic's done. we've gone from Zack Snyder's Justice League to Wonder Woman 1984 with several stops in between.
Okay, so scale from 1 to 10, how good do you think the Snyder Cut movie is going to be?
I heard someone say that it was a 9.
A 9?
Somebody, and they said that they were very surprised to say that. I do not think that's going to be the case because they said that in the context of the movies themselves, like of the DC movies that are in that universe. I think that
it's not a 9 out of every single movie in existence, just out of...
It's just like, if you like Zack Snyder, I would say this movie is a 9. I think that Zack Snyder is okay. As I said, Watchmen is fine. I don't like Man of Steel. I know, like, people who defend those movies say that Man of Steel is a good movie. We know somebody who says Man of Steel is a good movie. I disagree. Man of Steel fucking sucks. It's a terrible movie. It gets the characters all wrong. It's bad. I don't think it looks good. I think the color grading is bad. Soundtrack's pretty good, though. I'll give it that.
Zack Snyder usually has like pretty good music in his movies.
Except for Justice League, where he just stole... Well, I guess he wasn't really working on Justice League at that point, so can't really fault him on that. I guess the score in Justice League, Zack Snyder version, is much better. Which, it might be. Batman v Superman had a good score. Superman had a good score. I have no doubts that this will have a good score.
That's my stomach.
Yeah, your tummy's grumbling. I think that it'll probably be like a 6.5 for me in terms of movie scale. I think that it is probably going to be my favorite of the DC EU movies. Not that that's saying much. I think it's definitely going to be better than the Justice League we got. I'm excited to see Batman, Ben Affleck, back again. It's going to be cool.
Okay.
And that's that. Pivot. How you feel about Blade Runner?
I like it.
How would you say it compares to Fifth Element?
What's that? Is that a bird?
I think that's a bird. Hey! Shut up!
They're already flying back here.
Fuck out of here.
Can they carry the coronavirus?
I don't think so.
Somebody in Florida coughs all over one of those birds and it flies up here.
It's a new definition of bird flu. Anyway, shut up. So
I like it because
I
it
don't.
means that it's not going to be cold and depressing
gonna be, like,
for much longer.
20 degrees tomorrow. Remember last time it was 50 degrees and then it was immediately like -6?
I mean, yeah, that,
Welcome
that
to Maine.
happens.
So you like it? How does it compare to, do you like Fifth Element? Is that a movie you enjoy?
Yes, I do.
Okay. How do you think those two compare?
Well, one's a comedy and the other one is not a comedy.
But they're both weird, would you say?
Yeah, I think Blade Runner has kind of a well, I wouldn't say they really compare. They're not that similar.
I can't really speak to that because I don't like Fifth Element and I only was half paying attention to Blade Runner and I don't know what was happening.
Blade Runner?
Yeah. I don't know what was going on.
So
I was on my phone for most of it. I can tell you the general story and the plot. I don't know what the fuck was happening.
no, it's just
I know the models look cool.
sort of, I wouldn't really say it. Kind of, sort of dystopian future. Not that bad. It's just
Pretty bleak. There's not a lot of sunlight.
Yeah, everyone just lives in these
It's kind of
mega
like Dread.
cities.
Yeah.
And then there's advertisements that are more like Asian looking, which shows that I think like in the future China has a lot more presence.
That's the thing with Firefly as well. They talk about how
Well, it's a theme in a lot of science fiction
like
movies.
the sort of North American ideologies and the Chinese mashed together because those are two of the bigger forces in terms of society.
Right. Anyway,
so those two are gonna mash up.
Anyway, the robots, whatever they called them in that.
The replicants.
Yeah, replicants are illegal. So
on Earth.
Blade Runner, hunts them down and kills them.
I just feel like it was too philosophical.
It's not a very exciting movie,
Yeah, I agree.
but
Which isn't a
I
bad
liked it.
thing necessarily. Yeah. We've spoken. I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast. 2001, one of my favorite movies of all time. One of probably the most important movies of all time in terms of cinema. That's not a very fast movie. Some would even call it boring. But I feel like the difference is that that movie is more of an art piece. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really about the story. It's more about the visuals and the cool set design and the experience of the film. Whereas Blade Runner, I feel like, isn't that, and is trying to be like an actual movie, but is kind of boring.
yeah. I don't know. The new one that came out was pretty good.
I got about halfway through it last night, and then I got tired, and I didn't want to force myself to stay awake, so I took a nap.
Okay. No, I liked that one.
He was reading DNA sequences.
But I don't know. I haven't seen Blade Runner in quite a while, so I can't really talk about it.
We should watch every version of that movie.
No, because the version I watched was like the longest one.
And then
I'd rather just watch like the theatrical release.
I don't think you want that. Apparently that's the bad one. I think that's the one where Harrison Ford narrates everything.
I think he does that in the long one too.
He didn't do it in the one I watched.
Well, I probably would prefer that one then.
I've seen clips and it's him standing there at the beginning. He's like, they don't advertise in the paper for killers. That's what I am. It's really bad.
That's not what Harrison Ford sounds like.
I don't know.
They don't advertise in the papers.
But he's not doing like a gravelly voice like this. They don't advertise in the paper for killers. He's like his upbeat. It's just his normal speaking voice. It sounds really bad.
Yeah, I don't. I liked. I think it's visually appealing.
It's very the aesthetic you like.
Yeah, I like the kind of like dirty.
I think you would like Firefly. I think you should watch Firefly.
Yeah.
Very, very similar in terms of aesthetic.
Firefly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What else do we want to talk about? What else is happening? Oh, how do you feel about the royal family?
Don't really care.
Do you know at all what's going on?
Yes, I do.
What's going on? Do you want to explain it?
No, I don't care enough to even talk about it. I watched their interview with Oprah.
I didn't even watch the interview.
Okay. So you actually wanted me to explain it.
I don't know what's going on. They're like the family was racist against. They were questioning whether the baby was going to be white or not or whatever. Is that what was going on? I read something about that. Because Meghan is slightly darker than the rest of them.
Yeah, so on Oprah, she said there was talk of concern about how dark colored the baby would be.
Which I'm laughing because it's absolutely ridiculous to care about something like that.
And then they talk about how Princess Diana left him, like they're cut off from the royal family, but he has all the money from his mom, so I'm pretty sure they're fine. There's also a meme where they're like talking about how hard life is or whatever with them and Oprah, and it's just Oprah sitting on a
pile of money,
and they're sitting in like waist deep in
British notes.
Was it pounds?
Pounds, yeah. It's kind of, I understand that money doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't missing out on things or that you're not getting prejudiced against. But it is very interesting to watch two multi-billionaires talk to each other about
multi-billionaire. Well, I don't know how much money he has.
How much money does Oprah have?
Oprah is probably. Yeah. Hold on.
She has a house in Hawaii. I drove by it on a bus tour.
I'm sure she has a lot of. Okay, so they have like $50 million.
Oh, that's it? Oh yeah, definitely.
And Oprah.
It's definitely over $1 billion.
Oprah network. $2.7 billion. I
was gonna say
because she owns a whole network and everything.
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey Network.
Yeah, anyway, I really don't care. I think the idea of a royal family is just bizarre anyway.
Do you think people are going to be mad that we spent way more time arguing about the opening scene of Wonder Woman?
I think this is just all over the place. This is probably one of the worst ones we've done so far.
I don't know. I think it's going to be very good. I think I'm going to punch it up in the edit, and it's going to be sweet.
Yeah, you're going to have to, like, really chop a lot of things up.
Pauses. Well, my movies are ready to be picked up at Best Buy if you want to go do that. And then we can come back and I can start drinking.
I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay. I guess this is it.
Pee my pants.
Jordan's getting up and walking away. I'm not ending the podcast, though. I'm still going.
I'm walking away from this.
I'm still going. This is going to be the James and James podcast from now on. He's going into the bathroom. He's closing the door. Turn the light on. Okay, I guess this is it. Bye.